So I have a quick question for you guys. So I mean, obviously,
Oh.
you ask me questions. So
Oh, we are in the hot seat. Hold on a second.
here we go. Here we go. Okay, so we have all this institutional money kind of flowing in that we know of, that they're telling us they're doing it. We know they've been doing it already, but for a long
Yeah.
time, because you don't have trillions of dollars in there because I'm putting my dollars in there all the time. We know
Next to
that.
their penny, your pennies next to their dollars.
Yeah, that's right. But so with that happening, so you got these guys like BlackRock, you have Fidelity, you have these guys. Do you see, once this run, say this bull run runs into 2025, 26, do you think it's going to come down to that, oh, well, like last time it's going to drop that 80%? Or do you think that those guys are going to say, we can't let that happen? Like the next correction is going to be like a 30% or a 25%? What do you think is going to happen in the short term? I'm just kind of thinking what you guys think about that.
Melissa, you go first because you know what I'm
Oh,
going to go do. So yeah, you go first.
oh, I don't know.
You don't know? Well,
I'm like, wait, ask the question one more time. I got
okay.
nervous, and to be honest, I'm gonna be straight up honest with you. I was
Yeah.
listening to it, and I was like, "This is the question for Simon."
Yeah, and
No,
I was
but
like, I knew you were going to do that. I was like, I already kind of have
no,
an
but
answer there, but
but if
go
you
ahead,
think of it
ask it again.
just logically, you have all these guys telling their millionaire friends, "You got to start buying this. You got to start buying this," and then they're going to let it drop 80% on them, and then go, "Oh, but don't worry, it'll come back in 4 years." Do you see that happening? I'm just wondering, is there going to be like a normal, like the stock market when it has a big, massive correction of 25, 30%? That's kind of where I was asking what your thoughts are on that.
Well, okay, so my thoughts on it is I come from the mindset that I believe, and I know some people might think this is naive, but I do believe that they are trying to baby step us off the old financial system and into the new, and they're trying to do it with the least amount of harm.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and so, where you got them buying the treasuries and things like that, and moving assets into Bitcoin in particular. We hear them talking about it being a store of value more and more. They are creating these ETFs, and so you're going to see more 401k plans, and all of that money that we have tied up now start to move into these types of funds, which Simon and I were talking about earlier today. They do have much more control over that, right? Because when the big money comes in, if you've got your 401k and it's in a BTC fund, or someday XRP or Ethereum or any of these other coins, you're not going to be able to withdraw that out, just how they have it now, where if you have your money in a 401k or an IRA or whatever, they make it difficult for you to withdraw your funds, right? So there's the element of control for that. And I think that they're going to try to move this money over into these types of things, so that they can keep it kind of stable. Do I think they're going to intentionally crash? I do think they do that to get people in, at a lower price point. But I think then it will go. I think it's going to go back up. I mean, I don't necessarily think there's going to be an 80% crash like that. But maybe there will be. I think they're still in the process of capturing all of the illegal transactions that have gone on, because I personally believe that Bitcoin and Ethereum have been used as tools to figure out where the shady shit's been going down, and money has been seized, and they know exactly where it came from and where it went and all that kind of stuff. And so where that money goes at the end of the day, I don't know. That gets seized. I don't know what's going to happen with that. But I think the more money that comes into the space, the more stable that it will be. And that's just my opinion.
Simon? Oh,
okay.
Are you gonna start it with, well?
Yeah, let me do that. Well, okay. Let's revisit the facts that are out there. Institutional money is vocalizing that they're in. Okay, at some level, at some corner in the space they're in. The amount that they are in, we actually don't know that entirely. Okay, meaning we don't know how much of their purse they're spending to be in this game and to stay in this game. They are positioning themselves, and they're positioning themselves against each other because that's what business does. Okay. Fidelity has known to be mining Bitcoin since 2014. Okay.
Yeah.
How did they start out and how they scaled, right? Is something to kind of consider. How big are they now? BlackRock's in the game. Well, BlackRock will just go buy. You're a mining company.
They're buying it
Okay,
every day.
we'll just buy you. Now I can't. I definitely can't sit here and say, oh, BlackRock's totally doing that because, man, I ain't in the board meetings. Like, I don't know that, right? But it's plausible. So so in this next bull run that we're in my opinion, we're already been in the bull run. We've been in the bull run since the beginning of 2022. We bottomed out at the end of 2021 on the charts. We bottomed. We're on the way up now. We're looking for phase 4 to start here probably. And phase 4 is our parabolic move. Where we go from where we're at right now, 58K to 130, 164,000, range, maybe even only 120. It depends. So to answer the question, the correction part.
Mm-hmm.
Based on history, yeah, I could see an 80% correction. And what I'm saying there is we top out and we drop super fast. It happened last time. It's happened the time before and the time before that and the time before that. And the motives for that, for me, are irrelevant. These people, these institutions are still positioning. You have people where to go? Joseph? Joseph had a comment that was up there for a little while. Something about the people in the shadows that are invested in XRP. They've been holding a long time too. Dude, people are gonna take profits. They will. It's nature, So 80% correction on Bitcoin, very possible, just based on our last peak was 70,000. Okay, so if we go up, say to double that, 140,000, all right, we probably won't be 140,000, be like more of 130. But let's just say for 140,000. So we doubled our all-time high, right? So that's 100% up. Okay, when you do your 80% correction, that's from the top down. So whatever 80% of that move is, which would be not quite to that 70,000, it'd be about the $80,000 range. The percentage up and the percentage down, when you actually talk about the percentages equals dollars, it's different. It's a different number. It's not the same up and the same down. It's not like that. So your 80% correction, I could see as Bitcoin going to say 130,000, and then we do an 80% correction to retest our old all-time high. Totally plausible. XRP's all-time high is about 320, 330, depending on what exchange we're talking about, right? So I'm just going to say 320. We go up to 320 in this bull run. For me, that is totally plausible because we always have to retest our history at some point. It's all in the charts. It just shows history, okay? So for me, I'm like, okay, yep, retesting of all-time high. And then where do we go with that? I don't know. It is literally up to the market movers. If XRP went up to $10, and I'm speculating now, okay? If we went up to $10, where would it correct to? Well, if we did an 80% from 10, that could be the old all-time high. If you look at a chart and you pull out Cat Blue, where you at, sister? You're a straight up OG when it comes to this. You know, there's that. You also have, you know, governments. Cap Blue talked about government is using those seized assets in cryptos right now to hold it down. We know that Germany has been dumping on the market. Why? Well, because Germany's government needs money, right? And then you have the corporate factor, okay? And Michael Saylor from MicroStrategies has openly, time and time again, said, hey, folks, I have to sell this asset to meet my obligations for the stakeholders in MicroStrategies. That's just one company that's within this space. They all have to do that. They all have to, I mean, they don't have to all do it at the same time. I'm just saying they all have to do that function at some time. So yes, I could see an 80% correction. You know, it's definitely in the cards. I know there's like Alan. I know I can hear Alan's voice right now. Fundamentals, Simon. I'm like, you're right. There are fundamentals. There are big time fundamentals, but everything has to play out. You know, so if you ask me right now, Simon, where's a good price for XRP to take some profits? I would say not financial advice, but the old all-time high looks like a really good spot because we must hit that spot once again. We must hit that spot once again. Even if Bitcoin right now, if you bought Bitcoin at $60,000 and you wanted just to scrape a little profit off there, $70,000 would not be a bad place to do it because you know we have to hit that again with fundamentals in play. Got governments all, you know, governments are all on board. I mean, when I say all on board, and Mr. Man, love you, Mr. Man. You are the baddest researcher I've ever seen out there, man. You know, now this is now full transparency. I don't watch a lot of researchers, but dude, that cat is fire, straight fire. But he's showing
a good
us.
person. Such a good guy.
He is salt to the earth person, man. He's straight up salt to the earth, man. Straight up. I can't wait to meet him you meet him in person.
There's a good Canadian too.
He is a Canadian too. Well, I will. Yeah. Yes, he's a resident of Canada. Yes, but I can't go into anything else because I took the superhero Pledge of Allegiance, so I can't.
I know we talked a couple times, so
that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. I'm glad. Mr. Mann has shown us roadmaps of and documents of institutions, IMF, governments. They're all getting in, but let me ask you folks, how fast do governments move?
Slow, like turtles.
Oh, they do this a lot. They do this a lot to you, but
they do. They pretend, but they are very they're very slow. And you know what I was wondering too is we love you too, Teresa. I was wondering too with Germany selling, you know, if you say that there's going to be a correction, right? Maybe they're not so dumb. Like whatever the value was when they got it, they sold it to get some cash. But who's to say they ain't got cash on the side waiting for the dip? They go swoop in to buy the dip. You know, I mean that wouldn't be a dumb thing to do. So it's I don't know. It's very interesting. And then also don't forget, you know, and we're going to talk about this here in a minute with the traditional market, but you know, the money's got to come from somewhere. And so as assets, you know, as your money transitions into crypto or vice versa, you know, whenever someone makes that decision, I mean, that's why they're so scared of people going and doing the bank run thing where like, oh, I just want to take all my money out of the bank because they don't have all the money in the bank or whatever. And so, you know, that's why they always want to prevent people. They didn't like retail being able to buy stocks and all that stuff on their own. Good night, Teresa. Because it affects the market, you know, when people get scared and they sell and, you know, whatever. But then they learn to manipulate those people, which they do they do all the time. But yeah, it's going to be interesting as some of that money starts transitioning over into the crypto space.